God forbid Trump won this election. What would America look like? How would America change? What would a Trump second term with indictments, felony, the madness? What would a second term of Trump look like for this country?
Oh my God. It's first of all, it's not just this country and our security. What's Europe going to look like after Putin starts invading and we won't go over there to help? What is this country and the economics going to look like? The retribution that he is running on, the fact that he is talking about using the military in our immigration reform, the fact that he cares nothing about democracy. He cares nothing about working with the House and the Senate to do anything but something that will aid him and his power base. And that's what's really frightening right now. You see this, I forget what they call it, it's like Plan 2025 or something that the Harry.
Project 2025.
That's
Yep,
it.
I've covered this.
That's it. It's really frightening to see. And even at CPAC yesterday, there was one group talking about ending democracy as we know it. Ending democracy, what this country has built on, the moral fiber of this country. And it is likely to be gone. And Clay, I'm going to tell you something. I keep hearing from a lot of people, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, but it's the Democrats who I just shake my head when I hear they say, "Oh, look, ending democracy, that could never happen in the United States. What happened back in Germany in the 1930s could never happen in the United States. What's happened in China, what happened all over, none of that would happen. We're the United States of America." Well, let me tell you something. This has always been a fragile republic that we've had.
That's right.
It's always been a fragile republic. We almost lost it in the Civil War, and we can lose it again if we're not careful.
I remind people that Germany was a thriving country. People think it was just this. It was a thriving technology. It was an advanced country. I also remind people. I heard Noam Chomsky say one time, I'm paraphrasing here, that the mistake the Communist Party made is they kept on saying the Nazi Party and the Democratic Socialists were the same thing. Oh, it's the same thing. Doesn't really matter. And he famously said, "You see how that turned out." That's my other thing where I get frustrated by people. I'm not saying Democrats or Biden they're perfect, but there are clear distinctions between what the GOP is doing, whether it's in the House or the Senate, and what Democrats are doing. I mean, we got to be able to see the distinctions. If we can't see the distinctions, then we're already losing. That's why it's so important to have you come up here and break that down.
Well, Clay, you're absolutely right. And I go back to, and you're hearing more and more of this now. I'm a little bit older than you. No, hell, I'm a lot older than you. Okay. And I remember the Reagan years. I remember the Gerald Ford years. I remember the Nixon years. And even in those years, there was an ability to work together to do some things. And there was a sense of institutions of government and a protection of our Constitution and our democracy. And to some extent, a consensus, a broad consensus on foreign policy. Because remember the old adage, that partisanship stops at the water's edge. And, you had Harry Truman and his Republican Senate leaders that forged NATO and the UN. I mean, it was incredible the work that went on. That is not today's Republican Party. Today's Republican Party dominated by these MAGA extremists across the country, not just in Congress, but across the country in state houses, in local offices. That is a different world. And they really are now into their power, and that's all they care about. And the Democratic Party has always had a big tent, and we'd always fight with each other, and we would do things, and we still have that big tent. But the one thing that is consistent, whether you agree with the far left or the more center left folks in our party, the one thing that everybody is focused on, and they go about it in different ways, is helping people, helping families, and helping save this democracy. Everybody's got that same theme. They may come at it from different ways, and some that I don't even particularly care for, but at least they're there for people of this country. What we're seeing today is that The Republican Party has become a party of billionaires and these autocrat wannabes, oligarch wannabes in this country that want to control everybody and everything, including women and minorities in this country.
I say, can you imagine if President Barack Obama, former president, would have called Nancy Pelosi and said, "Don't pass this bill because it might look too good for Trump." Can you imagine the fact that Trump is contacting the Speaker of the House allegedly, saying, "Don't pass a border bill," which we need a border bill because it might look good for Biden.
Right.
I can't believe we're in a world. I mean, can you imagine if Clinton would have done that? This is. I'm sorry.
Clay, he is saying out loud what everybody has known for a long time, that border and immigration is a political issue for Republicans, that people like Donald Trump, and I use that, people like Donald Trump, not everybody. I really felt for my friend James Langford, who was selected, who was handpicked because he's so well respected and a arch conservative. I mean,
He's very conservative.
a really abiding man of faith who believed in what he was doing, and to get thrown under the bus like that was just stunning. But he was saying out loud, and what folks don't remember, Clay, is that this is not the first time Trump's done this. When I first got to the Senate in 2018, in January of 2018, right after I was sworn in, Donald Trump made the statement that maybe we shouldn't tackle full immigration reform. Let's try to do something for dreamers. I agree with that. And let's secure the border. Let's do something on those two pillars. And we got to work. There was a bipartisan group of about 25 senators that would meet once a week. I was part of it. It was just incredible to watch. In Senator Collins' office, every week we would meet at least once a week. And it was some tough discussions, but they were civil discussions, and we hammered out a bill. And at the last minute, Donald Trump said, "Nope, I don't want to do this. It's election time coming up. I don't want to do this." And so we lost Republicans, and that bill went down by about 4 votes. And we would have had it if he had not said that. So right then, you knew that this was a political issue he doesn't care about except for his own political purposes. He doesn't care to do anything to actually solve the border crisis. He wants to use it. And now so many of his minions are in the House and the Senate who won't likewise. And that's why this bill was killed. One that was primarily a bill that every Republican in the United States Congress should have supported.
And I didn't like the bill that much, but I said, okay, it's going to go through. It's very conservative, and they could even push it through.